It's Friday Night Lights Week 1 here in Taft. This should be an exciting one. I'm Jacob Young, joined by Marco
Munguia.
and, well, you got some stats for us, and this looks to be a great game.
Yeah, Jacob, here we are live from Taft, Texas, and it's Friday Night Football here in Texas, ladies and gentlemen, and we've been, I think this has been a long-awaited day for many people, with a lot of doubt if we were even going to have football seasons due to the pandemic that's been going on. But here we are, and I know there's people all over the Coastal Bend area excited that football has begun. I know down in the Rio Grande Valley, they're still on hiatus, waiting for their turn as well, along with a lot of other places in Texas. But the Coastal Bend, and especially here tonight with us in Taft, they're ready to rock and roll as Woodsboro's already coming out, and Taft will be running out here in a bit. Jacob, let me tell you a little bit about the home team here, Taft, the Taft Greyhounds, coached by Coach Castellano in his second year here, I believe. Second year here. And last year they didn't do too bad. They made a big jump. Overall record 4-7. They did make the playoffs, going 3-3 in district, in a tough district last year with the likes of London and Odom and Hebbernville. And Taft came out and made the playoffs last year as the 4 seed. They lost in by district to Poth, but they're looking to ride on that. They're looking to ride on that by-district berth that they got last year. And leading that group would be senior quarterback Sean Suarez. Sean has played a backed-up role here in the last couple of years, but he says his time is now. And a lot of people here in Taft are excited to see what he's going to do. And he's got some tandems back there with him. He's got Jarek Sanchez and Jeremiah Sanchez. And these guys can pack a 1-2 punch, electrifying. So we should see a lot of them today. On the defensive side, Marcus Serra, number 52, big senior, who's going to plug up some holes and try to cause havoc on that front line. So that would be for Taft. Now let's go over to Woodsboro. Woodsboro is a young team in the 2A District 16. Now their new district is a big one. I want to say that they're going to split that one as well, as Taft is splitting their district in that Region 4-3 Division 2 District 16 as well. So Woodsboro, like once again, I was saying, a very young team, but they got some big-time players on their side too. Their quarterback, number 11, Roger Gonzalez, a two-way player. He's the quarterback and middle linebacker, so he should be a name that we'll be calling a lot tonight. Number 2, Brandon Latimer, I believe. Ladner, sorry about that. He's their receiver. And then Caleb Moore, number 18, will be getting the ball in the backfield. So we got a big game matchup tonight. I know the fans are excited. We do have fans here in the crowds. It is, what do you think about the new regulations and how the fans are spread out?
Well, I think it's pretty good. It's every other row is what I'm witnessing. I didn't expect to see any fans in the stands actually tonight as well. When I came here, kind of was a little shocked to be fair, but nice to see that there's some fans in the stands. They have to, of course, wear a mask even in their seats at the moment, but either way, we have some fans, and that's always a great sign. That you'll hear them cheer probably a little bit. It'll be muffled, but that's very exciting in my opinion.
Well, you know, Jacob, think about the major leagues in baseball and the NBA and how they're playing their games with virtual fans in there. Yeah. I'm sure it's not the same. You know what I mean? It's not the same as actually having people with cheering and booing sometimes. But, you know, here in our Friday Night Football, we have live fans in Taft, and I'm sure the Taft crowd is more than excited. And even Woodsboro brought a nice little crowd with them as well. So that's always good to see that support for both sides.
Oh, most definitely indeed, and it's going to be exciting. Moments away from kickoff here to start, well, Friday Night Lights Week 1 up around the Corpus area here in Taft at the Greyhound Stadium. It just doesn't get any better than this.
So it looks like Taft is going to receive the ball to start off our game, and in the back there, waiting for that, would be number 21? Number 21, Josh Suarez. It's a short kick. Jumped on by number 33, Jarek Martinez.
Yeah, nice job by Martinez. You saw that they were trying to, well, that Woodsboro was trying to basically, yeah, he was just baseball skills. They were trying to get him off rhythm, trying to get the ball to start that game as well, and as well as being able to get the ball in the second half. So a nice job there to jump on it.
And here we go. It's a handoff to number 1, Jarek Sanchez, who gets himself a nice little gain of about 5.
Yeah, Sanchez, nice run, gets 5 yards, and that's what you want to do early. You want to gain some yards, especially on first down, because you don't have to go big. You still have about 3 more downs right afterwards, and if we could start to see that play a trend into this game.
Sanchez grabs that high snap, and he's going to take it himself, and he's got some room to run. He gets all the way up to about the Woodsboro 49, 48-yard line. Nice little scramble there by Suarez,
Yeah, Suarez able to, once again, it's all about limiting mistakes and doing something like that. So Suarez saw that it was a high snap, was still able to bring it down, and the pocket had already collapsed. So just running it back is perfect and able to gain the first down and move the chains.
Suarez handing it off to number 21, who finds himself some room to run, and he looks like he has lots of room to go at the 10, at the 5, taken down, and touchdown. He falls right inside. Touchdown, Taft.
How about that right there? I mean, we just did not expect to see an early touchdown like that, but their running game had been fantastic. As I'm going to take a quick little look at it just right here with the replay. You see it was just a handoff off the left side, and he had room to go. A nice job by the blockers, too, that offensive line, really making the room and being able to give those guys the yardage.
Definitely. He saw a hole, and that's all he saw. He going straight for pay dirt, and it looks like they're going to go for the extra point. And it's a low kick that goes off the deflection off the back of one of the linemen, and they're waiting for somebody to jump on it because it is a live ball. So Taft jumps up early with 11-14 in this game. So it took them not too long to put up 6, and they did it all on the ground. Like I said, I mean, electric running game right here is a little handoff in the motion, and he just followed his tackle, his probably a pulling guard, and he saw nothing but room in 6.
Yeah, exactly. 6 points. Wasn't able to get the extra point, though. And so that is why it is still going to be 6-0 for Taft. But now, of course, we'll get to see what Woodsboro has in store for us, especially for them this season. We saw how quickly that Taft was able to score. Now, will Taft's defense be able to step up and maybe even make a stop here early, or will Woodsboro go that opposite way? Only time will tell, but it's very exciting to see what happens.
So now here comes Woodsboro. Here come the Eagles, and let's see what they're going to have up their sleeve. Or is Taft going to be a stingy defense and give them not much? So we're about to see what is going on and get this party going.
There we go, ref blowing the whistle. So now, now Taft getting into formation, so only moments away.
We're ready for the kickoff. And here's a nice kickoff. Received cleanly. And he has a little bit of room to run. That's number 18 for the Eagles, who finds himself a nice little return. Gets it back to about their 47-yard line.
Yeah, nice gain once again. Both teams kicking it short. They didn't want any of their opponents really to gain an advantage, but it seems like that has helped both teams. They're around the same. I believe Woodsboro is around the same place that when Taft got the ball to start the first half. So, I mean, maybe short kicking it might not be the best thing.
And, Jacob, that was number 18, Caleb Moore, for the Eagles, and that was one of the players that the coaches said, hey, this is going to be one of our playmakers. And sure enough, he gets that return, and he got something out of that.
Definitely did indeed, and now I think he'll even get the ball back, but not able to get anything going.
And a big stuff in the backfield by number 58 of the Greyhounds. and that is Jacob Gomez Jr., and the ball was handed off once again to Caleb Moore. I think we're going to see a lot of Caleb tonight, but let's see if that Taft defense is not going to give him much love. So that's a loss of yards, going to second down now and about 12.
Yeah, exactly. Just a long yardage basically for anything to happen, but you and I both know if you crowd the line of scrimmage sometimes, you rush like that, well, you'll have a chance to get beat downfield, so they'll have to watch out for that and make sure that does not happen.
Definitely. So it looks like we have some flags on the field, and it's going to go against the Eagles. So the Eagles going back on a 5-yard penalty, now looking at a second and long, second and about 18. And we got Gonzalez under center looking for a handoff, but oh my goodness, we have nothing but white in that backfield. And that was number 30, I believe, Bradley Ortiz, who just rushed through that A gap and didn't give much room for anything.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's something that we all know throughout the game. The Eagles will have to try and figure out a way around it. But right now, what Woodsboro's only done is they've tried to run the ball and have gotten stopped 2 out of the last 3 times. Now, of course, they had a flag on the play, so now it's 3rd and 20. But they'll have to really go for a pass here if they want anything to go.
So Gonzalez back now looking for a pass, and he's scrambling because he has pressure all over, and he's trying to look for some room to run, and he actually does find some room to run up the left-hand side, takes a big hit, but it's still going to be well short of a first down.
Exactly, about 10 yards that he might have gotten close to the 50-yard line. So we'll have to wait and see. Of course, 9:25 remaining in the first quarter, but he just wasn't able to find anybody open, and the pressure, I think, got to him and able to gain solid yardage, but they will have to most likely punt.
You know, after looking at those sets of downs, the interior defense of Taft is just nasty. Those guys were in that backfield quickly, and on this one with Gonzalez back in that shotgun, he had room to move and got out to that outside. So, you know, that you want to probably stay away from the inside of Taft's defense. So let's see what happens here with an Eagles punt. And the punt is up. And they're going to let it. It takes a big bounce, and nice bounce, actually. And the ball goes out of bounds at about the 2-yard line. So it's a beauty of a punt.
Yeah, we'll see where the refs mark it down officially. It's looking more like...
Yeah, go out a little further up.
Just waiting on the official yardage, but yes, a beautiful punt, exactly what you'd want to do indeed to just pin them back. It's going to be less than 25 yards, but it seems like it did go out a little bit further up, about the 10-yard line.
Yeah, it looks like about the 13, but it took that nice Eagle bounce. So here we go with the Taft back with the ball, and they got that ball on the outside, and they got some room to run, and it's nothing but pay dirt now. He's trying to get more and more, but he's taken down by number 2. And number 1, Jarek Sanchez, once again, finds that outside, right, and room to run.
Jarek Sanchez, I think a name that we will be saying throughout the rest of the night, basically, if he keeps this up. Able to find room, getting the blockers too, and just Woodsboro has not found an opportunity to stop him on that run. So the run defense not looking too great for Woodsboro, and just as we all know, Taft is going to try and utilize that as much as possible.
Suarez with a little pitch out to number 21, but immediately met by the Eagles defense for a loss.
Yeah. Good stop there by Woodsboro. What they wanted to do, basically, it looks like it's only going to be waiting on maybe a loss of yards, but it doesn't look like it.
That was a Suarez to Suarez hitch, and he just didn't have anywhere to go. So Swat is back in the shotgun. Handoff. Looks like a little trick play with a little pitch back. Looking for some room, but there's a wall of green right there. And Coach Castellano pulls out his bag of tricks and tries to go for an end around, and it did not pay off for the Greyhounds.
Yeah, not well for the Greyhounds, but everything for the Eagles. Eagles looking really good on defense for, of course, the second drive of the Greyhounds. And well, just a nice job to know that they don't want it to be scored on once again and be down 2 scores at least.
And Coach Lesak for the Eagles, probably after that first set of downs and that first touchdown they gave up, probably got into his guys and said, hey, let's go, let's bring it. So we got ourselves a screenplay with room. He looks like he's looking for some blocks. That's number 5. He's cutting across back around the field. He does have himself the first down, but it's taken down after the big play and picking up that first down. That's number 5, Jeremiah Sanchez. So the Greyhounds go with a screen pass, and Jeremiah Sanchez followed every blocker and tried to get a little cutback coming back up the middle, and it definitely paid off.
Well, most definitely indeed. Normally, sometimes you see those cutbacks. They do not work in the slightest, but able to really get that thing going, and it looks like a little bit of hurry-up offense.
Suarez hands it off to Sanchez, and Sanchez is just grinding. Look at that boy run. That boy, he's running tough tonight. They're probably hungry, not the uncertainty of playing, trying to get things going. These guys, they want to play, on both sides of the ball. Both Woodsboro and Taft, these guys, they're just hungry for ball. And I'm sure that, if we have other players watching that aren't in season yet, that haven't had the opportunity, that's just making everybody else watching this game a whole lot more excited to see this.
Yeah, most definitely indeed. A nice handoff up the middle. That's going to gain them solid yards. Almost about the first down. Looked like that was to Jeremiah Sanchez.
So we got about 6 minutes left in this first quarter. Taft up 6-0. They did pick up that first down, and they keep marching that ball.
And marching that ball, they are indeed. And you talked about it earlier, even on this drive, how the Woodsboro defense came out and was really being able to stop the Greyhounds for the time being, at least for a little bit. But then, once again, Taft came back out and have really been able to go forward, and it looks like a timeout.
Jacob, sometimes, like we were just saying about how Woodsboro was making those deep stops over here, and they actually had Taft in a bind and a deep play behind their line, and then all it takes is one big play, and that big momentum can definitely come into play. And now look, we have Taft still marching down the field, just running that ball, and Woodsboro trying to get the momentum back on their side.
Most definitely, yeah, exactly. Woodsboro not necessarily having any momentum. It's going one way at the moment. We could see it start to push another one, but 5:32 remaining in the first quarter. Woodsboro still knows that they have plenty of time, but a big stop would be to make the Greyhounds kick a field goal. But at that moment, it's just, what the Greyhounds have over it is really just their running game has been unstoppable. And Taft going back to their original game plan, I think, not necessarily trying those trick plays, has really helped benefit them.
And I'm sure that's what Coach Lesak for the Eagles was riling up his boys in that timeout and saying, hey, let's get this momentum back. Let's make a big play. So here we go. Taft in the shotgun. Handoff up to number 5, Jeremiah Sanchez, who gets outside on the left side of the field, and he's at the 10, the 5, diving into the end zone, and it looks like he is stopped short of the end zone.
Yeah, maybe the knee, of course, went down a little too early, but either way, a great run, able to, well, once again, Sanchez just being able to find an open space and go for it and, well, almost score.
So let's see now who is going to win the line of scrimmage down here in this goal line. And it's going to come down to that interior offensive line, defensive line. If Woodsboro can get a little push behind the line of scrimmage, that could help out. But the ball is handed off, and it's dove in there, and he gets in the end zone, and it's a touchdown.
Huge touchdown right there for, once again, the Taft offense. You talk about it once again, the running game being able to just go in and score.
And, Coach over here on the Greyhounds went ahead and said, you know what? Jeremiah did a great job getting that close. We're going to let him finish it up. So Jeremiah Sanchez for the touchdown.
Nice job by Jeremiah Sanchez, and a nice job, once again, by also the offensive line. Because as we all know, you might not be able to score if your offensive line can't create the space that you need to get into the end zone.
That's a for sure. It looked like they're going to go for two, and it's a bootleg coming up to the outside, finds his little receiver for a little pitch, and gets the completion for the 2-point conversion. 2-point conversion caught by number 21, Josh Suarez.
Nice job by Josh Suarez. A great bootleg play just to confuse the Woodsboro defense. Still, they knew that they probably would have had to go for two in the later goings just in case this game got closer. So they wanted to get back to the even 7 points, basically. And so a nice job there.
And, Jacob, right now you were talking about the offensive line. I can promise you that Coach Castellano is fired up with his O-line right now because they just been doing a heck of a job really, really taking over that line of scrimmage and opening up holes left and right for their backfield.
Yeah, exactly. A huge, huge job there. You need that to happen, and we'll see if the Eagles can do exactly that here too.
So first quarter, your Taft Greyhounds up 14-0 with 5:16 in the first, and now it's time for Woodsboro to come out. And like I said, I'm sure Coach is trying to fire up his guys, saying, "Hey, we're still in this game. All it takes is one touchdown, and it's a one touchdown game. So let's see what happens here."
Well, yeah, of course, it takes one touchdown and also a stop too, because neither team necessarily. Well, I take that back. Actually, Taft has had a stop, but that is the difference right there.
So ball received by number 13 of the Eagles. That's Joseph Singletary for a short return. So here comes out the green, and the Eagles are looking to get their offensive going. Let's see if they get Caleb more involved and see if he can find any room to run. Once again, the Taft defensive line has been doing a great job stuffing up the inside. Ball's handed off up the middle, but met by a wall of white on the defensive line. The linebackers rushed those gaps quickly, seeing the ball getting handed off to go right up behind the guard, but not much to go.
Yeah, about a yard gain, if anything, and so that's something. And what I think and what my philosophy kind of, if I were ever a head coach in anything, but of course this is all hypothetical because, well, I have never played football, basically. But my point is that they should probably try and pass the ball as the play clock going down to 3-2.
Well, like you were just saying, they are going in that shotgun, try to get something going, but that defensive line now coming outside and those linebackers coming up for the sack and a big, big play for the Taft Greyhounds. And you were saying, let's try to get our passing game going. I can see that Coach Lisak said he might have heard you because there they go back into that shotgun, trying to look for something, trying to get the air game going, but just not enough time to get a play.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, it stinks, but that I think is kind of the problem that we've seen with this team. It has been the offensive line not necessarily being able to bring up the holes that they needed, the blocks that they've needed for at least 3 more seconds inside the pocket.
Well, they're going back to the air, and they're trying to do something, but they are not having any time whatsoever. That's a big, big sack once again by the Taft Greyhounds, and that's Bradley Ortiz, who is just causing all kinds of havoc in that backfield.
It seems like Bradley Ortiz is all actually get this replay going for us. But, yeah, it seems like, they were all ready for it. Basically rushing 3 at a consistent basis, but just getting through the hole is as much as they'd want. Punt down to about the 19, 18-yard line. So that's going to be a fantastic punt about 40 yards or so.
Give or take about 40, and we're seeing the leg on this punter from the Eagles, and he's had 2 dandies already. So that's spectacular for the Eagles punter.
Yeah, and that's the best part about it is, yes, the Eagles, they have a way to basically get out of their own end when they're trying to go into Greyhound territory. So that's a good thing. Now your defense needs to come in fired up, see that, and say, we have to make a stop here. If not, this is going to be a long night for us in general.
Definitely, the defense needs to feed off of the special teams play and get that going. So here we go, Taft with the ball. Suarez decides to keep it himself and is met immediately in the backfield and brought down for a big loss. And that is number 8 for the Eagles, who finds himself a tackle for loss, and that is Derek Hatchett with a great defensive play for the Eagles.
Derek Hatchett, yes, a great defensive line. Basically, you need that, and so...
And that's the kind of stuff that can fire a team up. All we need is one big play. The rest of the guys get fired up, fire up your teammates, and we talk about the momentum. So let's see what happens. Here we go. Once again, a play on the outside. That's number 22 for Taft, who gets himself a nice little run, almost picked up the first down. He might have got it. So let's see where the official mark is. 22.
Jay Martinez, I believe,
Jacob Martinez, yeah. With a great run. So far we've seen about 3 pretty good running backs that Taft has in their repertoire. That's a luxury for Coach over here. To have 3 guys you can give the ball to, and then they're off to the races. And here we go again. Ball goes to number 1, who finds a little bit of room to run and gets that first down.
A great first down, able to move the chains, and it
fell short just a bit. I think they looks like about 1 yard short. So now we're looking at 4th and 1.
4th and 1. If I were coach, you have the lead. You know that you have the defense. This will be Woodsboro's first stop, but I'd say go ahead and try to punt and pin them deep. I was seeing the kicker in practice, basically, and he was putting them pretty well. Putting them pretty well deep inside their own end. And
Coach was ready to go for it on that 4th and 1, and Woodsboro says, hold up, timeout. Let's talk this one over. Let's see what we're going to do.
Yeah, as they take a timeout, we'll take a quick little break as well, give our voices a little bit of a break, and we'll be right back after this. Don't go anywhere. This is Real Sports Live.
TVNS specializes in provider services, respite care, and emergency response service.
All right, coming out of the timeout, and we want to thank our sponsors on those commercial breaks. Coming out the timeout, the Greyhounds of Taft up 14-0. We got about 36 seconds left, and as we went into the timeout, we're looking at a 4th and 1 situation, and the Taft Greyhounds are going for it. So here we go. The ball is handed off to Jeremiah Sanchez, and he gets that first down. Risky play. What do you think, Jacob?
I'd definitely say it was risky considering the circumstances. Given the circumstances, you're up 14-0. Normally, you would expect to be conservative with the ball. But instead, Coach, I guess, knows that he has faith in his team. He's got faith in the running backs, and we saw it. He just needed to, of course, talk it out with them beforehand, and boom, able to get that first down, a huge deal, and it looks like that's going to be the end of the first quarter.
So ending the first quarter of play, Taft Greyhounds 14, Woodsboro Eagles 0, and we've seen a heavy run game by Taft and, exceptional running back play, slots and so on. I mean, every time one of these guys gets the ball, you be ready for something to happen. Now, Woodsboro is going to make some adjustments, I'm sure. I'm sure Coach Lisek is getting into his bag and saying, all right, guys, this is what adjustments we need to make. We need to slow down their running game. Let's hit them, and let's hit them hard.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. And, Woodsboro, of course, they just need to find a stop, basically, is all that their coach can ask at the moment to try and get their offense going. Now, the problem with both sides is, I feel like they're lacking a little bit of energy, in my opinion. That fight, almost. I know, of course, they got plenty of fight, but just really just the attack. Something more, basically, is what I want to see out of them. And it's just something that would be great.
All right, let's see what happens here. Taft once again with the ball. Suarez in the shotgun with a trips right, looking to the side and finds himself a man up the middle, and that is Sanchez. That's Jarek Sanchez, who has nothing but room to run up the middle at the 10, at the 5, and taken down right before the end zone, taken down at about the 1-yard line. So a touchdown-saving tackle after a little trickery. As you see on this play, you had Suarez looking out to his trips, does a little pump fake as a hitch, and then comes right back to the middle where it was wide open for Jarek Sanchez. And with that speed, someone actually caught up to him coming from the back and made a touchdown-saving tackle at the 1-yard line.
Yeah, what helped was also right before that tackle, he got tripped up just on his shoe, as that's going to be in for the...
Number 5, Jeremiah Sanchez grinds his way for his 3rd touchdown of the night.
For a second there, it didn't look like he got in, but a nice job once again by Jeremiah Sanchez to get himself inside the touchdown. That's really been their game. Yes, you have players that have been able to basically, just go all charge down the field, but in the end, it has been Jeremiah Sanchez to answer inside the end zone.
And that touchdown was all his will, because he was met actually about the 2-yard line, and he refused to go down. He just kept chopping those feet. And from what I hear, he's a power lifter. So I'm guaranteeing you that those squats, they really come into play when you're trying to grind and get that TD. Extra point is good. Daniel Pettis is our kicker, and he's done a fine job making the score 21-0.
21-0 in the first half, 11:34 to go. Absolutely fantastic from both sides of the defense and the offense for the Greyhounds, and can't wait to see what is going to happen next for sure. But when all sides are clicking like that, you can't just help but feel like this is going to be a special night for these players, getting back to play, being able to practice with their team, and really having confidence for the week 2. So here we go for Taft to kick off to Woodsboro. This should be a good one. They've kicked it off short, but it looks like that's going to be a long squib kick. down to about the 15-yard line or so, trying to get it back in. It's going to be nowhere, but I believe I see a flag, a penalty marker down on the field. So Woodsboro with possession at the moment. We'll see what they're able to draw up at about their own 20-yard line. So, of course, if I were coach, I'd like to see them try to pass, but at that same time, it's just been the rush of the Greyhound defense that has been that problem.
We got a flag on the field taking Woodsboro back. And that's not the direction that they want to go. So now we're looking back at the, I guess, 1st and 10, a replay of the down. Ball is handed off, trying to get up the middle, and there's just nothing there. Once again, the Taft Greyhounds interior line, their two techniques and their nose tackle, everybody up there is just getting to that backfield quick, fast, and in a hurry.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. Being able to just shoot right up the middle. Once again, we've seen it in replays already, and that has been very interesting to watch. Oh, my gosh.
Taft with another stop, and Woodsboro trying to find something here. And looking at a 3rd and 10, they got 2 yards on that one. They had themselves 12 yards to go, but it looks like they got back to their original marker.
Yeah, just about right there. We'll see what Woodsboro decide to do. This is going to be interesting to see because they just need yards basically to try to go down the field, get the first down, and if the running game hasn't been working, they really do need to go to pass.
Woodsboro with a pitch out, and they finally find something towards the outside, but not much. And that was Caleb Moore getting that pitch out. Gains about a couple of yards. And we want to apologize to those at home right now watching our game on Real Sports Live, and we know we're having some camera difficulties here. We're trying to work on that. We appreciate that, you guys. Also, don't forget, if you guys are at home, we have Real Sports Live on Facebook, on YouTube, Twitter, and Periscope. You guys go like and share. Here we are in Taft, Texas, Greyhound Field. So Woodsboro decides to punt. They're back deep, and Taft is trying to get some pressure back there, and it's a short punt. And I'm sure Woodsboro's not too pleased with that punt because it's going to give Taft good room to work here and try to extend their lead.
Yeah, it's going to stay on Woodsboro's own side, to be exact. The Eagles on, basically just the Eagles side of the field. And, just like he said, that's not what they wanted to. So it's going to work perfectly for the Greyhounds with a short field. Most likely we'll be able to just run it in one wide on each side, actually, behind the quarterback.
Greyhounds is looking to an outside, gets himself inside the 5-yard line. And that is number 8, Steven Rivera, sophomore, for the big play. Once again, we're saying a new name in the backfield. You know, Coach Castellano, I mean, he's had a plethora of running backs back there. Suarez in the shotgun, hands it off on the end around, and finds plenty of room, and it's a touchdown, Taft. Number 15 for Taft, Daniel Perez for the touchdown.
Nice run by Daniel Perez. Just everything that you could ask if you were, of course, a coach. I know it kind of sounds like a broken record, but it's so true. Just being able to get that run in is fantastic.
Hey, Joe, talk to me. What do we got to do?
Second quarter. It's been all Greyhounds here from Greyhound Stadium tonight on the first game of the season.
Yes, we're in split screen. Okay. Okay, sound, that's fine. Yes, sir, got it. We're there. Okay, yes, sir, Bo. The extra point goes up, and it's good, and the Taft Greyhounds extend their lead now 28-0. We got 8:28 in the second quarter, and it's been an all-Taft game. That touchdown went once again to Daniel Perez for his first touchdown of the night. The last 3 touchdowns have come from Jeremiah Sanchez, who's having a big game on the ground.
Yeah, nice job by just the whole running game. We talked about it earlier, you and I did, where basically we saw that a lot of running backs were basically getting an opportunity to try and make something happen for the Taft offense. And sure enough, now we saw Daniel Perez go inside the end zone to score, and it hasn't necessarily all been, of course, just one running back. A perfect way of just being able to kind of share the ball, try to get your players involved, every single one, as much as possible, especially on the offense, as well as how much they've been able to rock and roll.
So right now, up big against Woodsboro, and there's a deep kick, and they're going to let it bounce all the way back to the end zone for a touchback. So if you're the Woodsboro Eagles now, what do you think? You know, to me, I'm thinking, let's just try to work on our game. Let's find something play by play. Yeah. Let's see where our strengths are. Let's see, where we need more work. But right now, I think they just need to go play by play and look to see what's working for them. You know, they're down 28-0, so they want to find something here. This is when things that they've been working on in practice the last couple of weeks, things that the coach has been talking about. This is where we find out, what they have and what they're going to do. So let's see what we got going here now. The Eagles back in under center. It's a pitch out over to Moore once again, but doesn't get much. But I see some yellow on the field. It looks like a holding call against Woodsboro.
Yeah, that's something that, of course, you don't want to see if you're Woodsboro. Once again, penalties, they hurt you. They don't necessarily help benefit your game. Sometimes, of course, it can be on the offense, but if it's against you, that doesn't help. Holding, of course, you can tell when you see a couple of holds like that, then it becomes that problem of that you're struggling to try and hold that player off, and they're just going to rush by you just like that. So something that, of course, they know that they still need a little bit of work on is something like that. But for sure, being able to figure that out, move forward from it, and just be able to get downfield next play.
Gonzalez under center, hands the ball off. Looks like the ball's on the floor, and it's a fumble picked up by Taft, and he's going in there. That's number 27 with the fumble recovery and 6. Number 27
Christian
for Taft. Christian Barrios picks up the fumble and takes it back for 6.
Christian Barrios, a fantastic play right there. Just being able to, you get that offense, the Eagle offense, a little a little scared kind of, and sure enough, able to just fumble it and pick it up and score.
And I'm not really sure if it was a handoff type of fumble or if the ball just slipped out of the running back's hands, but it took that bounce right into Barrios' hands, and he said, thank you. And being so far back in, he saw nothing but the end zone.
Yeah.
So Daniel Pettis for the extra point, and it is good.
35-0, all Taft. 7:34 to go here in the second quarter.
So once again, it's been all Taft tonight. 3 touchdowns by number 5, Jeremiah Suarez. Daniel Pettis has himself one, and then right now we had a fumble recovery touchdown by Christian Barrios. And right now I see on the other side of the field, Woodsboro coach, Coach Lisek, he's got his whole team over there. So I'm sure he's telling them, let's go, guys. We're going to grind this out. We still have a lot of football to play. So let's keep marching. Let's keep working. Do not quit. Do not give up. Continue to play. Come play our game, and let's see good things happen.
Yeah, most definitely. Indeed. It's just one thing they're going to have to focus on, just like you said, play by play. They don't have to try and make something happen instantly. Basically, plenty of time left here to go, and you just have to run your offense as best as possible and make sure that you're just going to make some improvements just in case. Yes, of course, it's not looking great here, but you can also improve for the season to come.
So ball is received by Woodsboro, but number 18, that is Moore, but he is hit and brought down at about the 30-yard line. Taken down by number 11, Joseph Chavez. Second quarter, 7:26 left in the first half of play, and Woodsboro getting the ball. Now this is the time they need to dig deep and see what they can get going here. Roger Gutierrez, number 11, back in the shotgun. It looks like they're gonna practice their air game now. And it's pulled back in a play action. Gutierrez rolling out, looking for somebody, gets the ball off, sees a man, but it's incomplete.
Incomplete, a little overthrown as well, trying to get it out and away into no coverage basically, but that was in an area where it also could have been picked off. I know it was a little far to come by, but there was a lot of white T-shirts in that part.
Yeah, definitely. Roger Gonzalez, the QB for Woodsboro, felt some pressure coming up on the inside, so he tries to scramble out to the left side, sees a receiver, but just couldn't connect. So once again, Gonzalez back in the shotgun, waiting for the snap. Gonzalez with a snap. Play action fake. Looks over the middle. Incomplete.
Just incomplete as well. Another play where he kind of dodged the bullet as well, because you talk about it. Taft had a player right there to try to intercept it.
And, Gonzalez tries to get that ball off quickly, and that might mess up the timing. That's really a rush type of incompletion, because the pass rush is coming in so fast. He's trying to get that ball up, and he just couldn't connect with Braxton Ladner on that play. So we're looking at a 3rd and 10. Gonzalez back, still in the shotgun, looking for a receiver. Lofts it up. Nice pass, but incomplete.
Incomplete. He had the play drawn up almost perfectly as well. You looked at it, he had space. The wide receiver had plenty of speed to try to get there. I think it was just a little too quickly, but that's something that he knows he has to really work on, considering that he's being pressed a lot more.
No, definitely. Now we're looking at a 4th down punt here. Taft going to be waiting for that punt. And that'll be number 8 in the back waiting for that. That's Steven Rivera waiting for the punt.
Punt's
The
blocked.
punt,
It looked
a
blocked.
little squibbly. Yeah, a little squibbly punt. Didn't get much on that one, not as much as he'd probably want. And the ball rumbles out of bounds there at about the 46-yard line.
Yeah, the Woodsboro 46-yard line. So still in Woodsboro territory, something that we saw a couple of times. They don't want that to happen, but yet it's just the pressure that the Greyhounds keep bringing on, basically, and that has shown why the scoreline has been the way it is.
And Coach Castellanos' Greyhounds up 35 points. And let's see if he decides, hey, let's go ahead and open it up a little bit more. Let's open up our plays. Let's get some things in that we need to work on, looking towards where we need to be for next week and then district time. So the ball is handed off once again. That looks like Sanchez. And Sanchez has plenty of room to run and is finally taken down at about the 23-yard line.
Pushed out of bounds. Sanchez, a fantastic gain. First down and a lot more. Now just about to be inside the red zone, so coming up very quickly to try and we'll keep that momentum on their side and get up to about 42.
Taft will be playing in the Region 4 3A Division 2 District 16 on the north side of the play. And in that district, they're going to face Odom and Skidmore in that district. And so that's going to be a tough district. But Taft is looking really good tonight as another play right up the middle as the ball is handed off to number 5 once again, Jeremiah Sanchez, who's having himself one heck of a game. So Taft with the ball. Sanchez. Suarez actually keeps the ball, tries to get himself a little love, but is brought him down. A little slow to get up.
A little shaken up on the play, but seems like he will, or actually I think he's just bending down to try to get the play. So staying in for this one, and it's going to be interesting if they're going to decide to hand the ball off to him or maybe even go a different direction.
So now looking at a Taft 2nd and 8, Woodsboro hoping to make a stop here. Waiting for the call. Looks like there's a little bit of talk on the field. And they're running down that play clock.
Now you're going to have to take a timeout.
A timeout.
So yeah, they take a timeout. We'll also take one, too. We'll be right back after this. Don't go anywhere. This is still Real Sports Live.
Pioneers in the home care industry, in service for over 37 years. 11 locations from Brownsville to Corpus Christi, from Harlingen to Laredo.
Today's game is sponsored by TVNS, the pioneers in serving our community with the highest quality in provider services.
Sherryland ISD, a nationally recognized district focusing on quality and rigorous instruction where every child is immersed in a culture of academic success. A district dedicated to preparing our youth for the future. Our mission is to inspire, educate, and empower all students to reach their full potential and become leaders of the highest moral character. Sherryland ISD, excellence is our tradition.
All right, welcome back to Greyhound Stadium in Taft, Texas, as the Taft Greyhounds are leading big tonight on Woodsboro 35-0. And we want to remind you guys, please like and share our feed tonight. We have games all over the Coastal Bend area on Real Sports Live. And let's get back to our game. Suarez with the handoff and going up to number 1, and that's Jarek Sanchez, who's finding some room up the right side, and it's a touchdown for Jarek Sanchez.
Fantastic job by Jarek Sanchez, able to just gain an inside for the touchdown.
So now, like I said, Jarek Sanchez is now, he says, it's my turn. He goes, Jeremiah has 3. I want 1, 2. So he did a heck of a job finding that outside on the right side of the line, got out there and got himself 6. Extra point getting ready to go up by Daniel Perez. It's up, and it is good.
Yeah, 5:19 to go here, 42-0. Nice job. Once again, just the offense really flowing for this Taft team, and, well, it's showing you why they've been able to score.
No, definitely, and they're going to keep going, guys. And Coach Castellano is probably going to get his other guys in there, get them some love, and really see what else he has on his team. You know, this is the time to do that before they get into their district play. You know, they got Odom and Skidmore in there, and Odom ended up the number 2 seed in last year's playoff. And so I think that'll be a really good game when we have Taft and Odom. And I don't know if that's at home or if that's over in Odom, but get ready for that one, guys. It's going to be a good one. And that game will be in Odom. So that will be a big game for this north side of 3A District 16. So now the question is, if you're Woodsboro, what do you want to do now? You know what I'm saying? We're still looking for some light, and I know Coach is going to tell his ball players, hey, let's keep going, guys. Like I said earlier, we have to find something. We have to find some positive in here. We have seen some positive, and they're looking to they've gone more to the air and trying to work that air game. We have to remember that they will be in the 2A district, so we can't really, that's apples and oranges, you know what I mean? And so we're really going to see what these guys have, and they're going to come out.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, a decent gain for the Woodsboro offense, or Woodsboro special teams, basically, to try to get something going. And just to answer your question as well, I think we'll still see them try to pass the ball a little bit, and that's going to be key. And of course, we almost saw a little bit of light from that in the last couple of drives, but at that same time, we haven't necessarily seen too much running because of, in my opinion, I think it's really the offensive line. So it's just one of those things where I think they'll just really have to try and get the ball deep.
You know, junior quarterback Roger Gonzalez, all he has to do, their timing with his receivers is going to get down, and they're going to figure it out. But here we go. Gonzalez actually keeps the ball, goes on a counter play, takes it the other way, tried a little bit, and they got a little gain. Good job. Good job by the Eagles here on this play. Got about a gain of about 2 or 3.
Yeah, 2 or 3 yards first down, that's what it's all about. You gain those small yardage to try and get something going for second down. Of course, second down, you want to gain at least 3 to 4 more yards, something like that, to really make that third down minimal. Or if anything, trying to, well, move the chains, on that second down as well. So a lot of things going. You just want to make sure that you're going forwards and not backwards.
Gonzalez under center, hands the ball off over to number 44. I take that back. That's number 18, Caleb Moore, who gets himself about 3 more. So here we go. They got 3, getting another 3, looking at a third and about 4 now, and we might be seeing a little bit of growth. And that's all they need. They just need to keep building, stay in this game. There's still a lot of ball to play tonight.
Exactly. The growth is what, of course, your coach, especially when you're down in this type of hole, wants to see. So a nice job there. Just making sure that you can convert on this third down as well, as he's loose. Might be a little short, but another gain.
And that was Hatchett, number 8, who grinded for that first down. There's still a lot of fight in this Woodsboro Eagle team, and that shows a lot of character for these guys. It's really easy to put your head down after being down this big, but these guys are going to continue, and that goes back to the coach. Coach is going to rile up his guys and say, hey, forget the score. The score doesn't even matter. What matters is how we continue to fight and getting better throughout the game.
Exactly. And once again, nice job there. Able to get the first down, moving the chains. That's a third down conversion. Couldn't get any bigger than that.
And here we go. He got a little pitch out over to the left side, and he picks up a nice gain of about 4.
Yeah, 4-yard gain on first down. now you're starting to see this flow of the offense. They're not necessarily afraid of that defense anymore. And so I think that's what we're going to start to see is a lot more of that type of offense from Woodsboro, especially if the Greyhounds can't stop it.
2nd and 6 now for the Eagles. Gonzalez back, hands the ball back inside. He finds a little room. He bounces out to the outside. That's number 40, Wigington, with a nice little game, but it looks like there's a flag on the field.
Penalty marker on the field. We're just going to wait and see what it is, but it could have been a couple of things. I guess it might have been holding.
So after a tough run by Wigington is being brought back on the holding call. You know, Wigington got hit right at the line of scrimmage, and then he kind of bounced it outside for that big gain. But taken back on that holding penalty. 1:46 in the second quarter. So we're getting closer and closer to halftime. We want to thank you once again for tuning in to Real Sports Live in Taft, Texas. Don't forget to like, share on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and Periscope. So the Woodsboro Eagles had a little something going here, and they're trying to get that back after that holding penalty. And once again, the ball is handed off to Hatchett, who just refuses to go down, and he's just trying to get every bit of yards that he can. Hatchett looks like a good-sized boy, and he's definitely putting in some work for the Eagles.
Nice job by Hatchett. As looking at the replay here, just being able to find the hole inside the defense and just not allowing anybody to bring him down.
So let's see if they keep going to Hatchett. He seems to have some momentum on his side, and they sure do. It's a pitch out to Hatchett, who gets out to the left-hand side, picks up about 3 on that one.
Another huge 3-yard gain, and yeah, with just about I believe a 3rd and 5.
Well, yeah, that was. So now we're looking at a 4th and 5,
4th and
with
5,
about 25 seconds left until halftime. Looks like they might just run it out.
Yeah, exactly. With about 10 seconds or something like that, with the play clock not going down, that will be your halftime, actually, as they'll run it out, because guess what? They're going to get the ball back in the second half.
Well, there we go, and we'll be looking forward to that. So a quick recap of what we've seen in this first half. Once again, it's been all Taft, and we got some big numbers coming up from Jeremiah Sanchez, who has 3 touchdowns tonight. He's got Jarek Sanchez with 1, Daniel Perez with 1, and then that fumble recovery touchdown by Christian Barrios. And this has been one big play after another for Taft, and they're still going to go. We're looking at the halftime. Jacob, what are you thinking will come out?
By the concession stand in Santa Rosa. A local.
Yeah, what I think will come out of halftime, basically, I think it's going to be that same energy from both sides, especially now that Woodsboro seems to have that momentum on their side. It's going to be perfect back and forth kind of action almost, and so that's going to be something to really watch out for. All right, so, yeah, we'll be right back after this word from our sponsors. Of course, as it is halftime. Once again, I'm Jake Young. This is
Marco Munguia, and we'll have some special guests during halftime. We're going to have Taft's very own Mr. Flores coming on the show for us, and he'll be talking to some of the bigger admin over here from Taft, so we can get a few words from them. We'll be back after this. This is Real Sports Live.
awesome.
It's a terrific atmosphere before or after the games and supporting athletes of all ages. When you're in Santa Rosa, be sure to stop by the concession stand and choose from the wide assortment of goodies. An advertising partner with Real Sports Live is the concession stand.
South Padre Island Golf Club. Come for a visit. Stay for a lifetime.
Welcome back to Greyhound Stadium. Halftime here in Taft. Greyhounds all tonight on top of the Woodsboro Eagles, scoring 42-0. First game of the season, and we'd like to welcome here at halftime our new principal at the high school, Mr. Manny Luna. Welcome, sir.
Hey, how you doing? Nice to be here.
Well, here we have football, and what's going on in the ISD? Can we elaborate about what's happening with enrollment and what's going to go on for the next few weeks?
We're doing all right. We're up with enrollment a little bit at the high school this year. We started with virtual learning, so we're doing that for 4 weeks. Kids are responding really well with our virtual learning. Teachers are too. Our teachers are doing a great job learning a new platform with the virtual learning. So just proud of everybody around just to go ahead and get school started. And, of course, we got Friday night football for the first week, and we're happy to be playing and thankful for everybody for cooperating with us and supporting us so that we can hopefully play again next week here.
Well, we welcome you to Taft. You're an Odomile graduate, and
Yes,
I've
sir.
known you for a long time. And
Yes, sir.
like to welcome you. I
Thank
see
you.
that smile.
Thank you. It is there under the mask. Absolutely.
Taft is a great community to be involved with.
Yes.
Great school district.
Yes.
What can you liberate in the first month? I guess you've been aboard here in Taft.
Right.
With our superintendent, Mr. Ricardo Trevino,
Right.
brought you aboard, and also the assistant superintendent,
Right.
Miss Lopez.
Miss Lopez.
So we're going to say you came from Robstown.
Correct. That's where I was
And
before.
now you're a Taft Greyhound.
I am a Taft Greyhound.
And you used to be an Odomile when I first met you.
I'm still living in Odom right now. Still living in Odom.
But now we have Greyhound Talk.
Right.
You had a great opportunity to meet the school staff as far as the high school goes.
Right.
What do we have going on this year at the high school when we go back out of this virtual period that we're in for the next 2 weeks?
Right. This week, the first 4 weeks we changed it up a little bit with a virtual schedule to go to an AB schedule to try to ease everybody back into it and then give us time for kids that could come for live instruction and then the ones that would be doing their stuff on their own. Once we start getting kids back into the classroom, we'll probably change that again and get back onto a normal schedule. Still offering all of our dual credit classes, and we've got a lot of kids that are still doing that with the welding, with the phlebotomy, with the our core classes that we have for dual credit as well. So we still have a bunch of seniors that are doing that. But right now, those classes are all going virtual. They're doing it all online through Del Mar. So we still have those opportunities for kids, and we're still working with kids, contacting them. I think that's probably been one of the greatest things that we've still been able to go ahead and keep that connection. And we've distributed over, for our high school, we probably distributed almost 200 Chromebooks and laptops and then over 50 hotspots to people to go ahead and make sure that they had connection. They were able to go ahead and keep up with their instruction. So the whole community, the whole district's really pulled together to help all of our kids to make sure that they're starting off the school year right.
Well, you touched the subject there about the notebooks, and we'd like to thank the IT department. I know that they worked hard to get all the virtual going for weeks before the actual start of school here 2 weeks ago.
Absolutely.
But
and they're still working hard. They're still helping us out a lot with that, with a lot of troubleshooting. So.
Yeah, we had a lot of troubleshooting here tonight, and they helped the broadcast come aboard here, and we like to thank the IT department of Taft High School for that.
Right.
But here we are, a new field, a new track here in Taft.
Mm-hmm.
We've had our setbacks as far as the turf went last year, and now it looks beautiful.
Absolutely.
So we're ready to go this year, 2020. What do you see down the road as far as we have the separation out in the stadium? Everybody's abiding by masks before you get in the stands.
Right.
Keep your social distance.
Right.
What else can we anticipate happening with this COVID-19 situation? Is we're probably going to go all fall with this, or what do you see?
I probably see it going that way, but I see it more as a precautionary measure to make sure that we don't have incidents where we have to shut down the season or we have to miss any parts of the season. So that's why we're asking for everybody's support on it. We're not trying to be heavy-handed or anything like that or take things out of control with some of the protocols. We really want to just make sure that kids, and you can see it, they're excited out there. They're playing hard. They're really getting after it. Coaches have been too. when they had to shut down those couple of weeks, it hurt them. It hurt them a lot. They didn't want to have to do that, but they knew what they had to do. We don't want that to happen again. We don't want that to happen to our kids. We don't want that to happen, kids happening from another school. This is Friday night football. It's a big thing in Texas, so we want to make sure that it keeps going through the whole season and we don't have any setbacks. So you're probably going to see it the rest of the season, but it's going to be more of a thing where we just want to make sure we'd rather be safe than sorry.
Well, right now throughout the state, there's a lot of streaming of live games going on, and Taft has brought on Real Sports Live, and we'd like to thank Mr. Joe Bowling, who is behind the whole operation.
Absolutely.
And hopefully it's a thing of the future here in Taft, because the kids need the exposure. And this is a great way for them to get exposure. Tonight, halftime score, the Taft Greyhounds 42, the Woodsboro Eagles 0.
Yep.
But, yes, it's been one-sided offensively for Taft, but, what a spectacular sight from up here.
Absolutely.
The Greyhound emblem at the 50-yard line, the way the turf looks, that you got the bright green and the off green, then the striping. I mean, this is beautiful.
This is what it's all about on a Friday night.
Yeah,
This is what you come out here to watch, and watch kids get excited and watch the fans get excited, and that's what we want. And again, that's something that we want to see every week. We want to see that not only when we're here in Taft, but when we travel out of town. Some things that we're going to have to kind of work around as far as travel and social distancing. So like our band isn't going to travel with us to out of town games just because one, it would take up a lot of seats that they would have to go ahead and be in to go ahead and social distance, but then also the transportation. Again, ways that we can make sure that we're continuing to keep the game going. And I'm hoping that we don't see any setbacks and we continue to keep going where we let more people in and we can maybe relax on the social distancing guidelines. But for right now, we're just making sure that we want the kids to play, and we want to make sure that we put those protocols so they can go out there, they can have a good time, and we can try to get – this is our first step to getting back to our new normal that we keep talking about.
Yeah, that's a great point there, sir, the new normal. As a community, I know we're all trying to abide by the social distancing. We go to the local establishments and, put the mask on because that's what's been governed down from above as far as the county goes.
Right.
So everybody is pretty well by. I see people approaching the doorways of the local stores or the restaurants, and they say, oops, forgot my camera.
Yeah.
Or
forgot my mask.
Forgot my mask, and they go back to get their mask. So, that's the key. You got to oblige by the rules that are imposed on us because they're all rules.
Right.
And that's where we gotten, the social distancing. I see it here in the stands.
Yeah.
You set the band, touch on that again. They won't be able to travel with the team.
Well, and that's for a lot of reasons because on Fridays we've got football and we have volleyball. So when we look at those social distancing guidelines, we have to put those in place on the buses too. So that takes more of our buses, and then we've got a pretty big band, so that would be even more buses that would have to travel. Once they get there, a lot of times what we were going to do, our band just isn't ready at this time, but what we're going to do is put chairs in the end zone so that we're not taking up that capacity for people that want to buy tickets and come. So that would be hard for doing that for a home band and a visiting band. So we've kind of made that decision where for out-of-town games, it's just a little bit too difficult to send our bands. So we're going to focus on sending our football players, cheerleaders, trainers, and coaches and getting them over there.
Well, that's great to know, and hopefully we have the community out there tuning in on Real Sports Live. It's something that happened this week. Y'all made it happen. The administration here in Taft made it happen along with Coach Castellano, and hopefully people will get the word out in the community and be able to, what are we looking at capacity here tonight, Mr. Lunoff? In attendance.
I don't know what our final attendance was. I know earlier when I checked with Ida and Coach Castellano, we were probably at we had sold probably about 375, almost 400 tickets on the home side, probably about 120 over there on the visitor side. So we weren't at our max as far as what that 50% capacity was, but we were getting there, and I figured that today we were going to sell a lot more tickets. But Real Sports Live, they're great. I mean, I'm glad the UIL made that concession this year to go ahead and let games be live streamed. I think there's a lot of people that want to come to the games, but they're fearful because they're either in a high risk category or things like that. but they want to see their teams play, and this is a great way for them to go ahead and do that. I know my Oldham Owls are playing right now, so if I wanted to pull it up on my phone, I could catch a little bit. I haven't done that. I'm focused on my Greyhounds. But if I wanted to, I could definitely do that, even though I'm here in Taft. So I think it gives a great opportunity for fans to still be a part of the game and let them go ahead and do that in the comfort of their own home.
Oh, that is the thing. Friday Night Lights, and you get to be in the comfort of your own home and watch your big screen come through the YouTube channel of live broadcast, and it's going on throughout the whole state. I looked at the lineup on Dave Campbell Texas Football website, and I said there was probably about 100 games that are going to be streamed throughout the state of Texas. So you go to Dave Campbell's Texas website, and it'll give you the whole lineup that happened last night and happening tonight.
Right.
So, yeah, you're at home, you're enjoying the game, and hopefully we got a good turnout as far as the audience goes at home listening and watching the game, because it's something, a reality to keep social distancing and be safe.
Yes.
That's the key. Be safe. And this way you're at home, you're enjoying the game, and you give the kids exposures.
Absolutely.
You said, Oldham Owls playing against West Tulsa tonight. Miller Buccaneers are at Buck Stadium.
Right.
And, there's 6 games live on Real Sports Live tonight.
Yep.
Thanks to Mr. Joe Bowling.
Right.
And that's the key. But, Mr. Lunoff, we're going to let you relax a little bit and get back to your seat.
Okay.
I know you got here early.
I don't know where my seat is, but okay.
You got here early, and you make sure – one thing I was going to ask you, everybody that came in the stadium had their temperature check. Is that correct?
That's correct. We did temperature screenings with everybody, and that that's just a precaution that we do. That's same thing that we do for our staff every morning when they come on to campus. Just an added measure that we want to make sure that we're checking on those things to see if we catch that fever. But another protocol that we had in place tonight. Just again, just for everybody's safety. We care about everybody, so we want to make sure.
And you see the protocol we got up here.
Absolutely, and we've got hand sanitizer all over the stadium.
We exchanged mic. Whatever, I jumped in a while ago and took the mic from Coach while he was checking on the broadcast. So there we go.
Thank you, sir.
Be safe, and we thank you for joining us up here, and good luck. And we'll be a part of this establishment as far as the Taft Greyhounds go, and hopefully we can keep doing this Real Sports Live.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me. And if y'all haven't gone out yet, if you're on Facebook, check out our high school Facebook page at THS Greyhounds. We've got a Facebook page now where we're updating and communicating a lot of things. Thanks for having me, and go Hounds go.
Want to look your best at the next game? Then let Chewy's Custom Sports go to work for you. From custom designs and graphics to mass production in-house. If it's hats, shirts, buttons, mugs, cups, banners, and more, then Chewy's is there for every team and every sport. A veteran-owned company in touch with the community. It's Chewy's Custom Sports in San Benito.
Come and enjoy 2 full days of Texas Fest on March 13 and 14 at the San Benito Fairgrounds. Experience the Battle of the Alamo. See the fabulous Grammy winner Eddie the Reina Yavante and legendary Jaime de Anda, plus Los Garcia Brothers, Sereno, H3, Grupo Ácido, huge car show, market days, and join the IBCA State Championship Cook-Off. Take in Native Indian, Folklorico, and Aztec dancers, Reyes dancing horses, and rock climbing wall and games. Don't miss Texas Fest in San Benito.
Music lovers, you have to stop and see the assortment of records, tapes, and records memorabilia at Forever Memories today. Located at 237 North Sam Houston in San Benito, Texas, there's over 10,000 records on display and more coming every day. Looking for your favorite album from the past, first pressings, collectibles. How about a 45 with a single you just have to have? Freddie Fender, Johnny Cash, Hank Williams, Elvis, Beatles, blues, rock, classics, Tejano, it's all here. Organized and priced for you. Forever Memories, 237 North Sam Houston, San Benito.
At HCISD, we move the needle forward every day.
We'll blaze a trail for future generations.
All right, welcome back to Taft, Texas at Greyhound Stadium, and we are still in halftime. We're about 12 minutes until the second half of play with The Taft Greyhounds up 42-0 right now over the Woodsboro Eagles. And once again, here at this game, it's been all Taft. It's been a one-sided affair, and it did look like Woodsboro was getting a glimpse of light there towards the end of the first half as Hatchett, Mr. Hatchett, that is Derek Hatchett, was finding some room to run. He looked like a tough running back. But speaking of running backs, let's talk about the Taft Greyhound running backs. Jeremiah Sanchez, 3 touchdowns on tonight. Jacob, what can you say about his performance tonight?
Well, it's been outstanding. Of course, he was, gifted that space every single time that he would get the ball. Gifted a great offensive line with him, and so that helped him. He was just able to, of course, produce the yardage that he needed. And so fantastic job there by him, able to get a bunch of scores in and to really help his team take control of this game.
Also getting some love in the backfield is Jarek Sanchez, who has 1 touchdown, and Daniel Pettis, who has another. But it just seems to me that everybody that's touched the ball in that backfield has just done something special tonight. And isn't that a luxury, Jacob, to have skill sets of players like that?
Oh, most definitely, indeed. If you're a coach, of course, you want that. You want that for your team to especially mature into that. I mean, to talk about it real quick, this is just the Greyhounds in general. Especially on the offensive side, junior, senior, junior, freshman, sophomore, junior, senior, sophomore, junior, sophomore, junior. My point to all of that is, well, yes, you have a couple of freshmen, you have a couple of sophomore, but when you have that mixture, a perfect mixture of like junior and senior, they can really teach those young guns basically that play style and help them mature into even better athletes that way. So it's a great program I think that Taft kind of has, and it's helped benefit into them really having that great attacking offense and even just being able to have some solid defensive work too.
And as you speak of defense, even the defense have got some love and got themselves a fumble 6, and that was Christian Barrios, who the Taft defense had pinned Woodsboro back in their own 5-yard line, and the ball just pops out, fumbles, and jumps right into Christian Barrios' hands as he takes back a defensive touchdown for the Taft Greyhounds, which is nice. You know, anytime you see a defensive player get a touchdown that's not a cornerback or an interception, you always want to give them love and say, hey, good job on that one, guys. You know, we got a lot going on in the Coastal Bend area. We have plenty of games being broadcasted by Real Sports Live tonight. I know we have Odom and Ingleside going, George West and West Oso, Refugio and Divine, and then another game going on tonight on Real Sports Live was Fall City and Three Rivers. Just like us here in Taft, a lot of those games are at halftime. So let me share some of those scores with you guys that are going on around here. First off, a local area game, Beeville Trojans 0, Bernie 28, Rockport Fulton playing Aransas Pass, Rockfort Fulton 6, Aransas Pass 0. Then we have Ingleside and Odom. Ingleside up 12-0 at the half. Fall City 21, Three Rivers 13. George West 28, West Oso 3. Refugio, state champs, Refugio up against Divine right now 29-7. And we have Cornerstone. The Cornerstone Warriors are up against Cal Allen at halftime 10-6. Yeah. Let's look around some more games. Toloso Midway down to Corpus Christi Miller 35-7. And then the last game I see down here, it looks like it's Sinton and Orange Grove. Sinton 26 and Orange Grove 16. So lots of football being played here in the Coastal Bend, Corpus area. And this is new for us. You know, this is new for Real Sports Live to venture up north. You know, Real Sports Live was looking for sports. You know, we through the pandemic that we had the delay of sports, and in the Rio Grande Valley, we're still waiting down there for their time to come and to see if that happens. And the Coastal Bend area has been rocking and rolling. So we said, hey, let's venture north. Let's give them some love. And here we are. Covering many games here tonight. Jacob, what do you think about the new area?
Oh, the new area, fantastic. A great place great place to venture out. And just like you said, covering even state champions, teams that can make long runs basically also into the playoffs. And that's something that's very exciting. Yes, they like the 4A and even 2A, but that's still fantastic football. It's going back to almost like, I'm a racing fan. It's almost going back to like grassroots racing kind of in that way. The small crowds, the atmosphere, it's epic. It might be a little far away from where we live, but either way, it's also just great to see some Friday night football back in action as well, considering what's been going on. I know you have heard it probably thousands of times, but you'll hear it again. It's a pandemic. It has hurt a lot of places we haven't known necessarily what to do, and sure enough, able to bring you coverage is perfect.
I agree with you, Jacob. I'm just glad that we're here, and I'm glad there's football being done. And, of course, and it's in a safe environment. Taft has done a wonderful job, as you guys just heard during halftime by Mr. Flores, that, they've done a phenomenal job with their social distancing in their stands. Hand sanitizers are all over the place. Yeah. People have their masks on. Temperatures were checked at the gate. They've just done a tremendous job here at Taft. And kudos to the staff, the admin here, and everybody here, and the fans, the families that have done their part to try to keep this going and playing their part to stay safe. Mm-hmm. Really excited about that.
Yeah, exactly. About 5:30 remaining in halftime, but yeah, it's exciting, and I mean not much else to really say here, considering it's the first game, and also just going back to Taft, you're kind of just trying to level out, seeing where you're at for that future. I know both these teams, they don't come from that same district, but they're just trying to see, okay, what is there to really improve on? And even for Taft, considering what they've been doing, I can tell you there's still some things that they'd really want to work on, like the trick play early in the game, something that they probably won't necessarily want to bring up too much, but for sure, just miniature things like that can really be worked on. And so both teams, it's nice to see that you can just figure out what your weak spots are. All right, so we're going to go to one more commercial break at least, and when we return, we should be able to bring you second half coverage of this one here at Greyhound Stadium. I'm Jake Young.
And this is Marco Munguia, and this is Real Sports Live.
Students with skills for the future. We awaken their potential and empower them to make good choices. No matter where you're from or where you're headed, there's a place for you to flourish at HCISD.
Hi fans, today's game is brought to you by New York Life. Best of luck to your team.
And I'm Danielle Goslin, and I'm a partner with New York Life Insurance Company. For over 170 years, New York Life has built a reputation of developing the most successful professionals in the industry.
We help to manage the process from day one and guide you on your way to success. If you're looking to challenge yourself and build an insurance and financial service business,
then we would like to show you how we can help.
When in Port Mansfield, be sure to stop in Laguna Madre Baits, the home of Laguna Girl 1 and 2. They ensure that you have the best when it comes to your fishing needs. Locally caught bait, including live shrimp and croaker. Frozen baits, caught locally, frozen shrimp, squid, mullet, and more. Dress the part with full outdoor apparel. Drinks, ice, snacks, groceries, and fishing supplies for any need. Access by road or by boat. Look for the blue building and the blue shrimp boats. Laguna Madre Baits, 828 Westport Drive, Port Mansfield, Texas.
All right, Real Sports Live fans, and we have lots of people tuned in from all over South Texas, whether it's the Coastal Bend area, all the way down to the Rio Grande Valley, and maybe even all over Texas that are watching us tonight. We want to thank everybody that is watching us and with us tonight. Remember, we're on Facebook, we're on Twitter, we're on YouTube, and we are on Periscope. So if you guys have people that are alumni or family that cannot be here at the game tonight, let them know that we're here live in Taft, and we got ourselves a game. Taft up 42-0 right now over Woodsboro, but it's going to be interesting to see the adjustments that Coach Lissack over at Woodsboro is going to want from his team. I'm sure, after that halftime, if I'm down that big as a coach, I'm telling my guys, hey, we still have a lot of ball to play. Mm-hmm. Keep those heads up. Let's do what we do. Like I said earlier, play by play. And we saw there right before halftime that they were getting a little bit of light from Derek Hatchett in the backfield. He was chipping away 3 yards. 4 yards, had a 5 yard, and then they had a holding call. That kind of stuff is going to hurt the momentum. Yep. They got to keep on that positive. And I'm sure Coach Lissack is on that route, and he's like, don't worry, guys. We're going to be okay. We're still young. The season is still early. And then he's going to also give respect to Taft. Taft has been strong tonight. The O-line, the D-line, the backfield. They've just played an overall game. And like I said, I'm excited down the road for when they see Odom, because that's going to be a slugfest in district.
Exactly. And that's the fun part about these games, these first week games. I can't stress it enough. They're most likely non-district. And when you have that, yes, they do count towards your record. Don't forget that. And they do count, of course, towards that high school ranking, that little ranking that they normally have. But at that same point, it's good because you see where you're at. You see where, just like I said, you need to just go forward on, and we'll see what happens from here on out.
And just build, just keep building and keep going. And we are about getting ready for this second half of play. And Taft will be kicking off, and Woodsboro ball will start it up to get us going. And here we go. The second half is underway. It is bobbled in the back and dropped, but picked back up over by Caleb Moore, who's trying to look for some room to run. I take that back. That's number 2. That's Braxton Ledner. And he tries to find something, but he gets back to about the 8-yard line. I don't know if the ball was bumbled a little bit, but he keeps the ball, and Woodsboro will keep the ball on about the 11-yard line. Probably not the way they wanted to start the second half, but let's see if they can get something going offensively.
Yeah, exactly. You can take two things from that. Yes, of course, you bobbled the football and went back further than you would have liked. But at that second time, you didn't lose the ball, and that could have been a key factor because it's right in, your own territory, and Taft would have had a chance to try and score there.
Roger Gonzalez under center, looking to keep the ball himself. He's trying to find something on the right, but really doesn't get anything much. Maybe lost about one. So now they're looking at a second and about 12.
And it's about 2nd and 12, just trying to find something going. They know that they can't necessarily go to Hatchet every single play because, yes, of course it did work, but at that same time, we all know halftime adjustments are still possible. Just like we kind of said, Taft, that's something that they could have worked on in the locker room before they came back out.
So now they switch it up. Woodsboro gets into a shotgun. Gonzalez gets the snap. He rolls out looking for a pass, finds somebody, but it is incomplete and hit hard. The receiver is hit hard by number 1, Jarek Sanchez. It just seems like the communication between Gonzalez and his receivers are just not on tonight. If they can link up, then we're going to be talking a whole different ball game.
Yeah, most definitely, for sure. And, of course, it was one of those plays where he felt a little bit pressured whether or not he was, and threw it. And, of course, just did not want to get intercepted and try to hit his receiver. It was a lot of going back and forth, a little bit of stress, and
so
at the end result, incomplete.
Gonzalez stays in the shotgun, rolling out to the left, looking for his receiver, and it's complete. Gets himself a completion, and that could be a confidence booster. Sometimes that's all it takes is one completion.
Yeah, exactly. A nice catch by, I believe that was William Meacham. So Meacham able to just get some yards. It's going to be 4th down still, but still a good thing to just move forward, at least for now.
So now looking at a 3rd and 4. Was that a 4th and 4? Take that back. So it wasn't enough for the first down. Punt goes up, and they're going to let it take a bounce.
It actually took a Greyhound bounce at the end of that and rolled in for about 2 yards in favor of the Greyhounds, of course, so about the 38-yard line is where it's going to be marked.
So the Greyhounds already in Eagles territory. And let's see what Coach Castellano wants to do this second half. You know, they've been dominant on the ground. I'm wondering if he's going to want to start going to the air and practicing some of that.
Yeah, exactly. That's going to be interesting for sure. Yes, of course, he knows that they can score in the running game, but that's something that they definitely be able to work for. Actually, it's going to be a quarterback scramble.
And the move is going by number 8 with a big gain there. That is Steven Rivera, sophomore, who gets himself a big gain on that one.
Yeah, nice job by Rivera, able to just gain solid yards. Once again, it was an interesting play, to say the least. I thought for a second the quarterback had it as that's going to be fun.
Snap over the quarterback's head. But he saves it. You know, they're going to lose some yards, some big yards on that one, but I guess it's better than losing the ball.
Yeah, most definitely, indeed. Considering the way that the game has gone, they can definitely gain it back with the yards that they've had, and it should be about second down and long. 24 yards to go to get the first down.
Suarez still back in the shotgun, waiting. We got a man in motion. Suarez is looking back, finds his receiver, but it is bumbled and it is incomplete.
Yeah, incompletion. So just like he said, yeah, they're trying a little bit of, just something new basically. Trying a little bit of the screen pass on the side, trying to get positive yardage, just overthrown a little bit, and that's why the cause of the incompletion.
So Coach Castellano is saying, hey, okay, let's open up our playbook. We know that we've been dominant on the ground so far tonight. Let's take a look at our passing game. Let's try to see, let's get some work in that area. And this is also going to help out Woodsboro because it's going to help out their pass defense, and it'll help out their pass rushers. So if they see a quarterback in a shotgun formation, they'll get those reps against, maybe they'll see a shotgun type of offense in district play.
Indeed, yeah, timeout called. And so, yes, this timeout being called, I think we'll take a quick little timeout as well. When we return, we'll be back with the third quarter of action. About 5:28 remaining. I'm Jake Young. This is Marco Molina, and we'll be right back after this.
TVNS specializes in provider services, respite care, and emergency response services. TVNS are pioneers in the home care industry, in service for over 37 years. 11 locations from Brownsville to Corpus Christi, from Harlingen to Laredo.
Today's game is sponsored by TVNS, the pioneers in serving our community with the highest quality in provider services.
Sherryland ISD, a nationally recognized district focusing on quality and rigorous instruction where every child is immersed in a culture of academic success. A district dedicated to preparing our youth for the future. Our mission is to inspire, educate, and empower all students to reach their full potential and become leaders of the highest moral character. Sherryland ISD, excellence is our tradition.
Coming still in that shotgun formation and trips. And it looks like a play action pass, and they're going to go down the field, and it's complete. Big gain for a number 21 for the Greyhounds. That's Josh Suarez. If you remember earlier, Josh Suarez had that 2-point conversion as well. So a Suarez to Suarez connection.
Yeah, solid gains for sure, and that's what they wanted to. They were in a hole. Remember, it was about, I believe, 24 yards to get the first down. So, yeah, crazy play right there to really gain anything going, keep anything going, basically. And so, once again, it's up to Woodsboro to try and get a stop here.
So Woodsboro trying to find an answer for this Taft Greyhound offense, and they're just going to keep going. And it was short, so it's going to be Woodsboro ball who finds a little bit of outside. And that once again is Caleb Moore with a nice gain of about 8.
Yeah, Moore making second down easier for this Woodsboro offense. And, I mean, a nice run, a solid gain on first down is what you want to see out of your team. Like we said, it's play after play that this Woodsboro team has to take into consideration. And sure enough, they're doing that very well.
And, you know, we've seen some good things from Caleb Moore. I think he's going to have himself a nice little season once things get going on that side. Eagles up to the line. Gonzalez under center. Ball is snapped, coming back, makes a couple bumps, but he's trying to make something out of nothing. It looks like there was some miscommunication in the backfield, and Taft takes full advantage of that.
Indeed, they do, and sure enough, just like they gained those yards, it's going to be right back to it. And with 4 minutes to go here in the third quarter, it's all about just taking something out of nothing. And it's been very difficult to try to beat the defensive line. I mean, every single time, as you're seeing right now, look at Taft, what they're doing. Looks like the Greyhounds once again are going to rush 3.
Woodsboro coming up to the line. Gonzalez under center. Looks like we're going to get a timeout, Woodsboro.
Yeah, timeout Woodsboro once again, and 3:35 to play here in the third quarter. We'll take a quick little break as well. I'm Jacob Young. This is Marco Molina. We'll be right back after this. This is Rio Sports Live.
This game is brought to you in part by the Concession Stand in Santa Rosa, a locally owned business providing a terrific atmosphere before or after the games and supporting athletes of all ages. When you're in Santa Rosa, be sure to stop by the Concession Stand and choose from the wide assortment of goodies. An advertising partner with Rio Sports Live is the Concession Stand.
Back to the ball game here in Taft, Texas, as we have Gonzalez under center. He's looking outside, and that's a pitch out over to Caleb Moore, who's finding himself some room to run and gets that first down.
Gets a first down, steps out of bounds, but a solid gain once again. And, I mean, I'm going to take a quick little replay of that because a nice first down, just the open space. Had the blockers from the start and just solid gain. You want that first down. You want to continue it. That's going to be key.
So that bright spot of Caleb Moore, like I said, that kid has speed. Once he gets around to the outside, he's really going to go. But it looks like there was a flag on the play. And after that big game by Caleb Moore, it's brought back. And that just has to be frustrating.
Yeah, that's not the first time that we've seen that tonight, where they've had a solid gain, basically a a momentum shift in their senses, and they can gain a little bit of momentum from that, but they get called for a hold or something like that.
Yeah, exactly. So Gonzalez back in a shotgun now. It looks like they're going to try to get something going, but we got some rush, and he gets the ball off, and it's a nice pass, but it's just a bit too much.
Yeah, just a little too much on that one, but yeah, he got pressed, and you can see that can really be a key. Talk about just about half a second more, and that pass is probably right on the money, and you could see somebody gone from maybe 6.
And he felt number 22, Jacob Martinez, coming off that backside corner, and that blind side, he was coming in hot. So he said, I need to get this thing off, and that he did. Mm-hmm. So now we're looking at a 4th and long, and it's a low snap, but the punter gets it off, makes a nice punt, and takes a big-time bounce for the Eagles.
Yeah, well, that was a big Eagle bounce considering how short it was. It will still be in Eagle territory, though, but considering the circumstances, he couldn't have asked for anything better.
So no Taft will get the ball back, and I'm wondering if they're going to continue to go to the air.
Yeah, I think it's something of just trying to run your offense, run a little bit of a different scenario, trying to score, trying to make it harder on yourself in a sense to try to get everything really running as a whole. Yes, we go back to it. The run game is perfect. They know that run game really works for them. But at the moment, we've seen a little bit of overthrown passes and something like that, which is something that at least I'd want to see if I was a coach to have working.
Suarez in that shotgun, hands the ball off to his running back. He gets himself about 3 to 4, and that is Steven Rivera. So we get sophomore, we get the underclassmen getting a good amount of reps tonight. And like I said, why not? You know what I mean? We had Jeremiah Sanchez score 3 touchdowns earlier. So now they're going to give everybody else a little bit of love. Suarez with the handoff once again. It goes to number 8. That is Rivera, who finds himself trying to little razzle-dazzle and goes from right to left. You know, I remember coaches saying, hey, guys, we run north to south, not right to left. You know, we want to get those positive yards.
Yeah. Yeah, a nice job there getting that positive yardage. It looks like a timeout is called, but I also want to just add on what you were saying, basically, with that positive yardage. It's something, you get those, or the fourth quarter, you get those underclassmen really working for them, and as I missed that, but either way, point being is you get those underclassmen. Guess what? Now your starters, they most likely won't get hurt because they'll be on the sidelines. They'll be resting just in case they did have an aches and pains coming into this one. Now they get to rest a little bit more.
Definitely, and that'll end the third quarter. We got the Taft Greyhounds up 42-0. And we're going into the fourth. It seemed like that third really flew. You know, as long as they leave that ball on the ground, that clock's going to keep ticking. Yep. And there hasn't really been too many flags thrown to stop the clock, which I like. I like that the refs are letting these guys play the game and the tempo isn't being controlled by officials. A great job by tonight's officiating crew.
Yeah, great job. Exactly. Great job by them. And, of course, great job by both teams for also playing the game fairly. You can take that into consideration as well.
No, definitely. We've seen good sportsmanship all night on both sides of the ball. Credit to the coaches for bringing up their teams in such good manner. But, you know, when it counts, they're aggressive on that field. Let me tell you, there's going to be some hits. So here we go. Taft finding some room up the middle. Once again, that is number 5, Jeremiah Sanchez, who just keeps going and refuses to go down and finally brought down after the big gain.
Exactly. We'll take a look at that once again as we'll see if we actually got it. Yes, indeed. Just the push. It was almost like a little scrum for a second, but a fantastic gain once again by
Jeremiah. Yeah, Jeremiah Sanchez. He already has 3 touchdowns on the night. I'm thinking he's saying, I won 4. So he's going to keep chipping away. And there it is. Here he goes. Jeremiah Sanchez up the left side. He has 1 defender on him, and he's brought down. Dragged out of bounds.
And brought down by, I believe, Braxton Lander, the number 2 guy. So a nice defensive play for Woodsboro. That's something that, of course, the Eagles, they can say, look, yeah, we didn't have a lot of defensive stops, but we had solid stops on the early downs. Now, of course, we just need to work on trying to stop them right when it matters the most.
Definitely. So here comes Taft looking at a bootleg. Quarterback keep. He's finding the corner, and he is in for 6.
Walks it in.
Sean Suarez keeps the quarterback bootleg himself and gets himself some love.
Yeah, fantastic run once again. And, I mean, it all starts off with, the trickery, just like you said, really fooled the defense and was able to have the whole right side of that field, the whole space open, just textbook-style play.
Kicker Daniel Pettis in for the extra point, and it's bobbled, and they're probably yelling fire, fire, fire on that bobbled snap, and it is brought down in a broken up play on the bubble snap and hold.
Exactly so. Instead of 48, it will be 47, I believe, and 10:31 remaining here in this fourth quarter. So nice job there for the run and just really executing on that offense. Of course, just a little bit of a low snap. What can you do when that happens?
That's tough, and that's tough on the holder. I remember, when being on a extra point team and being on that line, and once that holder mishandles the ball, he tries to pick it up, and he becomes the quarterback, and he's trying to get that ball out of there. And he just yelling, fire, fire, so everybody knows to go where they're supposed to be.
Yep.
So a little bit of excitement there on that extra point. 10:31 left in this game. Taft 48, Woodsboro 0.
Yeah, exactly. Moments away from the restart as we wait on the officials to resume play here. Once you hear the whistle, then it is resumed. There we go.
Once again, thank you for joining us and watching Real Sports Live, whether you guys are on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitter. We are social media live, and we are streaming video live. And we've been lucky enough, due through everything that UIL has let us video and give us a live stream for you guys to watch. If you guys have been active followers with Real Sports Live, we had always only been able to do audio play-by-play. But with everything that's been going on with the pandemic, UIL passed the rules that on Friday nights we can now stream live video. So that's the way we're getting it to you guys for those who cannot be here at the field. So we want to thank our followers. We want to thank everybody for tuning in tonight. I see here we have Steven Galindo who's saying go Taft all the way from Hawaii. So thanks for tuning in over in Hawaii, Steven.
Yeah, exactly. It must be a earlier time for him. I believe they're about 5 hours behind us.
.9:24 left in the game, and Woodsboro has the ball. They're looking to find something here. I'm sure Coach would like for their team to end this game strong and then carry it into next week. So let's see exactly how they want to finish this game up.
Exactly, yeah. You said it as well. Yeah, finish strong, get the reps in as much as you can.
Gonzalez falls back, and he bobbles the ball. It comes out of his hands, and it looks like it's on the floor and recovered by Taft.
Yeah, exactly, recovered by Taft. We'll take a look at it in a second, but you talk about it, it's just things like that, the mistakes they don't want to see happen.
It's just been one of those nights, it just seems like nothing has gone right for them. But like I said, teams will have those nights. It's what you do after that that matters. How are you going to fix it up? How are you going to keep going? You got to find it. You got to dig deep, and you got to keep playing. And I know that Coach Lasac is doing exactly that, trying to get his team to finish strong.
And so now, of course, Taft will just be talking it over for a second, but they know what to do. Keep the ball on the ground. Let the play clock and game clock basically run down as much as possible. It's going to be about 8 minutes to go. So yeah, indeed, a new quarterback on the field. That's going to be Adam Leandro.
So it looks like Coach Gaziano said, let's give our starters a little breather with 7 minutes left in this game. So we have Adam Leandro in, Jr., taking over the helms for Taft. Leandro back in the shotgun, waiting for the snap. And the snap is high. It bounces back, but he recovers the fumble, and he's going to take it himself. And he finds a little bit of room to run, and he keeps going, and he gets back in that end zone.
How about that play right there?
So you had a broken play on a bad snap that went over Leandro's head, and he picks it up and says, don't worry, guys, I have this. Finds himself to some room to run and scores himself a touchdown.
Yeah, absolutely a fantastic play. We'll take a second look at it as well. But, yeah, I mean, it set it up. It was set up like any other play. But the craziest thing is the bobbled snap basically kind of made both teams kind of just freak out a little bit, but still had that space to go in and make the score.
It just seems like everything has gone Taft's way. Every fumble bounce, everything has just been Taft. And it looks like the extra point is wide left. No good.
So no good once again. And that's one thing, of course, that Taft will definitely be working on is that special teams. I know that they've missed a couple already this game, from the first drive to even a couple of other drives throughout this. I believe the last drive before this one. But point being, those extra points, after a while, they start to bite you, especially if you're, let's say, just like you said, you're playing a big district opponent and you're, let's say, 20 yards out if you're Taft, and they stop you normally around that yardage, 3 points, that's a good deal. But when sometimes you have a kicker that hasn't necessarily been the best, that's going to maybe become a problem. So definitely something that they could work on if indeed would happen.
Definitely. Being so young in the season, I mean, this is game 1. There's still a lot of kinks that are going to be worked out. These guys still have a couple weeks until it's real showtime, and I know that both teams are going to come back out stronger next week and then just keep getting better as the season progresses. So here we have 6:30 left in this game. Taft up 54-0, and Taft is about to kick the ball away to Woodsboro.
Bobbled once again a little bit, trying to go on the left side. Finds a little bit of an opening. Down the middle he goes, still on his feet, and dragged down at about the 36 or so yard line.
So nice little return. Once again, Woodsboro, they're showing their glimpses. They're showing that they have athletic kids over there. It's just a matter of putting it all together, getting them to gel. And like I said, it's a young season, and they're going to just continue to work and get better every week.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's all you can ask for, really. Get better every week. Make sure that this is an improvement. You look at the team, especially this team is very young. It's freshmen, a couple of sophomores, a couple of juniors, but most definitely what you don't see are seniors. You have about 2 seniors on the team.
Yeah, very, very young team, a 2-senior team. So that only means that they're only going to get better, guys. Being a young team, people in new positions, people in new spots, learning experience, it's only going to get better for Woodsboro. But right here, another mishap for Woodsboro. They fumble the ball, giving back to Taft.
Yeah, unfortunate right there, but yeah, and so it's just like we said, only going to get better. It's something that definitely turnover game will have to be worked on after this one.
So Coach talking to his troops for a little bit before they get back on the field. I'm sure he's trying to say, hey, okay, this is what we're going to do. Let's go ahead and keep going. Let's practice on this. There's 4 minutes left. And right now I'm thinking they're just trying to run some time off of that clock, being up 54-0. Story tonight has been all the skilled players of Taft. They've just been having huge games. We're also going to have to credit the O-line and the D-line. It's just been an all-around game for Taft altogether. Even their linebackers have been causing havoc, rushing those gaps and getting in that backfield. Taft with a fumble now. Looked like a bad snap and bounced off the quarterback's hands. And let's see the official call.
Seems like it will stay with the Taft Greyhounds. For a second there, it looked like a couple of Woodsboro players were pointing to their end, but that was not the case.
So Taft keeps the ball and waiting for the call. Coming up next for Taft is another home game against the West Oso Bears, and that should be a pretty good game. Both athletic teams, from what we've seen from Taft tonight, plenty of skilled players, and West Oso, from what I hear, is going to have the same. So that should be a slugfest tomorrow, and that game will be here in Taft next Friday.
Yeah, exactly. A nice stop there by Woodsboro right there to make it 3rd down. So Woodsboro really having a good defensive drive at the moment.
The next couple of weeks, Taft's going to have some feisty opponents. Next week they have West Oso. The following week they're looking at Freer. After that they got Kennedy, and then a big-time matchup against the state champ Refugio Bobcats, and that's in about 4 weeks from now. So, like I said, Taft is going to build off this, and the confidence is going to be high. But they're going to still continue to face some very challenging opponents down the road. But from what I've seen tonight, they're going to be all right. They're going to hold their own against some of these state powerhouses and so on. I think Taft is in the right direction.
Oh, most definitely, for sure. I mean, you look at that drive right there for a second. They were able to gain solid yardage. That's going to be a gain of about 6, and it will be 4th down. It will be 4th down and 6. We've already seen them go for it once. I wouldn't be shocked if they do it again here.
We got about 150 left in the game, and they may just go ahead and go for it. Yes, they are back in the shotgun trips formation, and the quarterback goes ahead and keeps it himself and looking to the side and finds a little bit of room, but brought down by a nice open field tackle by number 13, Joseph Singletary of the Eagles.
That's going to be enough, though, I believe, to move the chains. We'll have to wait and see. Check that. See a flag actually on the play, so a penalty marker down.
Yeah, definitely. A flag came back. They were trying to continue running the ball to keep that clock running, but then a flag comes out. It might have been a holding call somewhere in the back.
A holding call, so I believe that might be a replay down.
So now instead of that 4th and 6, they're looking at a 4th and 16.
Yeah, just as much yards as they gained that last play, they're going to lose 10 of those. So now it's might be worth it still actually to go for it, and that's still what they're going to do.
And they are. They're in that trips formation in the shotgun, hands the ball off to number 8, trying to find some room, but is met in the backfield. Good defensive play there by number 12 of Woodsboro, Cody Burns, with a nice tackle for loss and a ball over on down.
Yeah, that is huge. Turnover on downs for Woodsboro, something that they can basically build from. And watching it once again, able to beat the rush. What a play there. Once again, fantastic job by Coy Burns.
Clock still winding down, about 26 seconds left in the game. It looks like Woodsboro may get a snap off, but
they're going to call a timeout, I believe.
A timeout. Okay, they're going to time out with about 20 seconds left. And let's see what the coaches are going to have to say about this.
Yeah, exactly. Just wanting to have a good last play of something basically going down.
Guys, I'd just like to take a minute of your time. Great broadcast. And thank Miss Aida Martinez, who put all this together up here in the press box for us. In the past, these windows, you weren't able to see out of here. And now it's just clear as could be. The booth is just clean as could be. She put it all together for us. And also hats off to the maintenance crew here at Taft ISD. We don't get this hospitality all the time, but it did happen tonight.
Thank you, Mr. Flores, over from Taft, and wants to give some shout-outs to some of his fellow staff, and they have done a wonderful job here, and we want to thank you from Real Sports Live for the hospitality. Everything has been top-notch here at Taft. We really appreciate everything. So Woodsboro gets a playoff, and it's a nice completion there, and we'll give them some of that love as time is running down, and that's a great way. They want to finish this game up on a positive, and they make a nice connection there. I like that.
Yeah, exactly, as it seems like that is going to be the game, but we're just going to watch that last play here on the replay. Just set up, dropped back, and it was one of those quick passes. That's what they wanted to do. That is really what Woodsboro was trying to do throughout the whole game, but wasn't necessarily able to get it going. It stinks, but how about this? Final score will be 54-0 Taft. So Taft will start off the season with a shutout.
Sure, and Taft starts their season off strong. Probably what they wanted to do, gain that momentum. They wanted to gain that momentum, put a win. I'm sure goal number one was to win game number one, and that's exactly what Taft did. Now, Woodsboro coming off, like we've said, a very young team, 2 seniors, but they have a lot to build from. They have plenty to build from. Big games over on the Taft side. Jeremiah Sanchez had a huge game tonight. 3 touchdowns. Daniel Pettis, 1 touchdown. Jarek Sanchez had 1 touchdown. Suarez got himself some love over on that on that bootleg. And then we had an even defensive touchdown by Christian Barrios, who picked up that fumble recovery. Let's not forget about, we talked about Suarez. We talked about the other Suarez as well, who had that 1 touchdown, and he had a 2-point conversion as well. So it was an all-around game. Defensively, the D-line was big. The middle linebackers played a huge part in creating havoc. So all-around game for Taft, and they have lots to look forward to, but they also have a tough schedule in front of them. So they're going to be tested. They're definitely going to be tested before they get to their district play.
Exactly. That's what high school football is all about. That's what these games are all about, especially at the start of the season. Figure out your weak spots, and sure enough, that's exactly what they'll be able to do. Come back, practice up for that next game, make that a little bit of a practice, especially that those 2 weeks, Kennedy and Refugio, those were circled right when they got those schedules.
Definitely. And before we go, let's look at some scores from around the area, okay? We got some fourth quarter scores. Bernie 35, Beeville 7. Fourth quarter over in Odom. Odom's come back to lead 14-12 on Ingleside right now. Fall City 28 to 3 Rivers 20. Cal Allen has made a comeback as well in the fourth quarter. Cal Allen 20, Cornerstone 17. We have a tie ball game over with Sinton and Orange Grove at 26 apiece. George West 35, West Oso 3. And keep going down here. Rockport Fulton 6. Aransas Pass 0. That's still at that halftime. I don't know if any updates on that side. So we got lots of football going on. But here we are in Taft, wrapping up. Taft gets the big win, 54-0 over Woodsboro. I'm Marco Munguia, and I would like once again to thank everybody here at Taft. Thank Mr. Flores for being here with us as well. His halftime show was phenomenal. We appreciate you giving us some information on what's going on with things around Taft and Taft High School. And once again to admin, support staff, faculty, custodial maintenance. They did a wonderful job here tonight, staying within the guidelines, making sure everybody was safe, and just made it a really good environment. And football in Texas is back, ladies and gentlemen, and we're more excited than we can ever be. Jacob, any last words?
Yeah, no, just a fantastic game. And just like you said, I'm so glad that high school football is back here in Texas. The blood, basically the lifeblood of this state in general too. So very happy, very excited, and can't wait to do it again next week.
All right, well, I'm Marco Munguia, and we got Jacob Young, and we are out. Real Sports Live. Remember to follow and like Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Periscope. Find us. We'll be there wherever there's sports. Thank you.